nice to see you all here this evening. Thanks for coming. Please silence your phones. John and Christy, welcome. And wanted to know, I usually just call by the first name. Would you rather be Trustee Ramos, or you're fine with John?
I'm fine with first name.
Okay, thank you. Supposedly we are on YouTube this evening. Hopefully we are. I'm not sure. When they said I got an email that you'd have to be a member of YouTube to be able to comment, so just to let you all know that. And thank you, welcome back. So we're gonna go through roll call, everyone is here. Public hearing, Kristen from Langen Tully is here for the public hearing, to close the public hearing on the comp plan.
Good evening. New board members, or old board members return, welcome, hello. Kristen O'Donnell, Langen Tully Engineering, the planner for the village. So since the last time that we were here, the Comprehensive Plan Committee did convene a committee meeting as requested. We discussed all of the public hearing comments that came in either verbally at the last public hearing, or written comments had come in since that time. We discussed all of those comments, went through them, made a handful of changes to the comprehensive plan. And I did redline them and send them to you so that you could review them. Changes were in regards to the circulation section. We had some changes to the park section and some changes to zoning as well. You can see all the redline changes that are in the document. Unless the board has anything else to discuss, I will turn it over to the committee. Or you can turn it over, you can make sure there's no other additional public comment, and we can turn it over to the committee.
So we're just going to continue the public comment. If anyone from the public has any comments on the comp plan, would like to come up and state their name, please do.
Yeah, we just note for the record, this is the hearing.
Continuation.
While we're asking, the hearing of the Comprehensive Plan
Committee,
It's
correct.
not a village board of trustees.
Correct.
So the comments are technically going to the Comprehensive Plan
Yes.
Committee.
It's going to the committee, and they're sitting around here, so.
Okay, I had, made a request that the comp committee had looked at my property on East Main Street, seeking a zoning change from B3 to, so that I can make it into a two-family. Reasons being is, number one, all the surrounding residential people in that neighborhood would prefer to have it, become a residence again. Number two, there's just such a great amount of vacant office space in the village. Last couple of weeks ago, I drove through and I counted 25 to 30, depending on where you start and stop counting, and that's more than it was when I counted 2 years ago. I think if we just leave it the way it is, that piece of property is going to languish. It's, just like so many of the other empty storefronts. This isn't like I'm trying to turn a business into a residence right in the middle of the central business district. This is right on the fringe. Every building east of me is residential, either one family or two family. 5 buildings between me and Highland Avenue. I've spoken to the residential owners behind me, next to me, on both sides, and across the street. They're all in favor of this. When I spoke at, I believe it was the last village board meeting, I asked if anybody really saw a problem with my plan, or if they had any concerns that I could address as to, why this shouldn't be considered, and nobody, said anything. So, I take that to some degree in that at least some of the people on the board seem to be in favor of the change, just as I, am stating it. It's, just kind of frustrating when my neighbors want this, I want this. It sounds like a lot of people on the board want this, but they're saying I can't have it. And everybody in that B3 section there is like non-conforming. And, you know.
I believe, Dr. Bojack, I believe that the committee did relook at that. Brenda, did you remember what the outcome of that was? Do you remember?
The plan is to make it single family.
Yeah.
So hope to take away the business from his property down to Highland Avenue.
Yeah,
And
the
turn it into single family housing.
Yeah, this board hasn't gotten that packet yet. The committee has, they're changing that over to this board soon, hopefully.
But there are at least 3 or 4, four houses that were single family that were and are now 2-family houses. And, you know, they weren't when I first came to the area and bought that property 38 years ago. That sprung up since then, but many years since then. I'm going to say 20 or 30 years ago. Those houses aren't going to all be converted back to 1 family again, not realistically. What I'm asking for is just blends right in with what's already there. And, you know, like I said, it poses a hardship to me, and it doesn't look good for the village having another empty storefront, another vacant commercial property when it's just completely unnecessary. Having a 2-family where I am is going to be no burden on the village that I can think of, less so than the surrounding 2 families. I have 8 parking spots in my lot, and I do have you know, the entire thing is a parking lot that holds 8 cars. I had a hard time getting that when I wanted to convert it to an office all those years ago before the planning board and getting a special exemption use. You know, for me to try and turn this back into a 1-family, I'd literally have to tear up a parking lot, take out a storm drain, not to mention all kinds of crazy things that I would have to do inside. And, you know, when I looked at the list of commercial uses that I can use on that property, I wouldn't want to do that to the residential neighbors around me. You know, I wouldn't want to even attempt to try and get that. It's putting me in a position where I really didn't want to sell the building, and I'm probably going to have a hard time selling it too. And this is unfortunately how I feel that, you know, things are starting to, you know, that we're having so many empty properties like this that are falling into disrepair. I guess that's all else I can say, unless anybody's got any questions for me as far as what I was proposing.
This board is not the question people. So yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, though, for coming up. Anyone else from the public? No?
Hello, I'm John
Mr.
Joseph.
How are you?
Good. For those who don't know me, I own the Thruway Shopping Center. I acquired it from the Concourse family and put up the Hannaford remodeled the plaza. And I see that we're doing some changes to the comprehensive plan, which brought me here today. Right now it's in the B1 district. It's always been in the B1 district, which has served me and the community for a long time very well. But the world is changing a little bit as it relates to retail. And as part of the change in zoning, I would like for it to be considered if I could do some residential down there as well, which would be storefronts, residential above storefronts, so there would be more of a mixed use than strictly commercial. And I don't know how to go about that. And maybe the village attorney can give me a little direction.
Well, the comprehensive plan committee, this is their hearing, so you can give your comments and your concerns. They can address it. At the end of their review, they are going to refer the plan to the Village Board of Trustees. The Village Board of Trustees then will take that as their document. They're going to have to hold at least one more public hearing, review it, listen to the comments. Again, this board can revise it as well. If this comprehensive plan board doesn't revise it, this board could still consider it and revise it, and this board will also have to conduct the environmental review, which is commonly known as seeker, to make a seeker determination as to the impacts of the comprehensive plan on issues such as housing. So this board, that's an important issue for this board to consider. And then at the end of that process, the board would either adopt it as recommended by the comp plan, make changes as they believe are necessary, and adopt it. And once that's adopted, that serves as the blueprint for potential zoning amendments, because the zoning has to be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. So once a revised comprehensive plan is adopted by the Village Board of Trustees, necessary zoning revisions would have to be made to make sure it's in compliance with that plan. So this is not the end of the process. So your whatever comments you believe should be inserted, you're inserting tonight. You can insert again when the village board has it with any backup for why you believe that the zoning is appropriate for your property, and the board will consider.
Where is the comprehensive plan in its process? Because it was only brought to my attention several months ago.
The committee has it. This board formed a committee.
Okay.
That board is holding its public hearings now, even though it looks like you're appearing here, you're really speaking to them. At their process, they will come up with the plan and say to this board, here's the plan we're recommending to you. Then this board has to do its own review, conduct its own hearings, and revise it as they believe necessary, as well as conduct the environmental review associated with it.
So, but as it relates to the committee and their recommendations, where are they in the process? Has any recommendations been completed, or is there a proposed?
They're holding the hearing. I believe they made some changes based upon the first batch. They'll listen to what's being said this evening, and I don't know. They consulted with me, but Kristen is here. She would discuss them with the comprehensive plan committee, and then I imagine they would either leave it as is and recommend it, or make any additional revisions they deem necessary based upon the comments tonight, and refer it to this board.
Okay, but is there, like, the plan, is it posted on the website, or is there a map or any proposals? Where would I find this
I believe it
information?
is posted on the website.
It's posted on the website.
Okay.
And posted in the public hearing notice. The link to the website is on the public hearing notice, on the website.
Okay.
Full plans available,
Okay, great.
and all maps are.
Okay. I don't have the color one, but I do have something similar to that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Anyone else from the public?
Mike McNamee, 86 Ulster Avenue. I just want to state my support for the previous two gentlemen. I believe that the request for a two-family home zoning on East Main Street there, which would be conforming with more existing two-family homes in that one block radius than are currently single-family, which is all it's owned. I believe that would be an absolute bunt. That whole area should allow those two-family homes, in my opinion. I understand at the last meeting, the comprehensive board members that were there made remarks about they don't want apartments and everything in the village. They're already all over there. I think that, again, it's a no-brainer for me. And then the gentleman from the Throy Market, again, mixed-use development, I think would be a much, much better use of the empty parking lot down there and the empty land behind that building. It's in the middle of the village. Sidewalks are already there. Everything's there. I think, again, that would be an absolute bunt to allow those uses on that property as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. Kristen, I'll bring you back up.
So I think, so the committee did consider the comments that you heard tonight, so without any additional comments, my recommendation would be for the committee to close the hearing, and then they would refer it to the village board. Now, as this board knows, the committee was considering several zone changes, but the committee itself, they just make the recommendations. So there are recommendations in here. They're not specific to a particular property, but they are, the village should consider amending the zone to expand the business use along state and county roads where it was discussed, and to make sure that where zoning on residential lots where the zoning is inconsistent with the rest of the neighborhood, that be adjusted as well. So those recommendations are in this plan. They are general on purpose, so that this village board can really get into the specifics of zoning, as that's your purpose rather than the committee's. So I don't have anything else unless there's any questions.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
From the committee, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing and to move the comprehensive plan as last posted to the village board for their consideration.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. All in favor? Lisa, see you back there too, yeah? Close the public hearing? Yeah. Very good. All right, carried, thank you very much. So that will come to us next.
Yeah, so the process is the board should review it, consider the comments were made here today and any other comments you believe necessary, and we should have a meeting to discuss it. And also, Kristen, I believe we have an EAF with the...
I have started an EAF.
Okay.
I will prepare and expand. I've prepared the part 1 and part 2. I will prepare and expand in part 3. I wanted to get the final draft before I got into that task. You will certainly have the full EAF before you set a public hearing, so that it can be available to the public at that time.
So the board, I guess the question you may have is, do you want to take a first swat at meeting with Kristen, or maybe discussing, seeing if you're going to incorporate any changes before we get into too much detail with the EAF, or if you just want to prepare that now and review it? I would suggest you maybe take a look and consider and have some discussions, at least preliminarily, and then.
Agreed. I think that if the board can get a copy of all of the comprehensive plan, read through it, we can put it on an agenda, we can look at it, read it, discuss it. If they feel they need to have Kristen come back one evening, we can go over with Kristen if they want to make changes, what the changes would mean to the community, to the spaces. So I really think letting them read it first and going that direction. Kristen, are you all right with that? Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
All right, so we'll make that just getting it to, yes, John?
Was that a unanimous? I mean, was everybody here from the comp plan committee? Was that unanimous or
Yes, unanimous.
1, 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, did you say
Okay.
There's a
everybody
quorum.
here?
Yeah,
We're missing,
No, we're only missing Zach, I think,
yeah,
okay.
and John.
there's a quorum.
There's
So
a
you have-
quorum.
You have 6 here right now? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good.
I didn't have anyone. So we're gonna, you're all good with that. So Kristen, you'll get everybody a copy or a printed?
Yeah, anyone that wants a hard copy, let me know. Otherwise, it is posted on the website, or I send around a Dropbox link, but I can get it to the full board.
Okay, would you want,
And actually, what I'll do, Becky, is I'll send a memo, actually, that summarizes what the committee did tonight, just to memorialize it in writing. So it's kind of a cover letter too, so that everyone can kind of, just as a summary of this meeting and what transpired as well.
perfect, thank you. And then they can get back to you if they want a hard copy or not?
Yes, no
Okay, very good, thank you. We're moving on to the reorg meeting, which was for 6 o'clock. Sorry, we moved it to 6:30 and thereafter. So we did that. Roll call, we are all here. Appointment of deputy, do I have to open that up John, do I have to start all over again?
No, the reorg portion is just part of a regular meeting. It
Okay.
doesn't need to be separate. It's,
All right. My appointment for deputy mayor is going to be Lynn. Appointments of the Board of Trustees, appointment of village clerk. I haven't heard a lot from Marissa, so I'd like to do that as a holdover. I don't know if any people will see what happens. I did speak to her a little bit today. There was no confirmation on timeframes, so I'd like to just leave that as a holdover. Village treasurer, we have
Do you need a motion for that?
I don't know, need motion for that? No.
do you want to make a motion for the whole slate, or make a motion individual? If you're not reappointing, and it's a holdover, you don't need a vote.
Okay, so we don't need to vote. Okay, so appointment for village treasurer. Roberta McBride is doing an awesome job. She's dealing with the budget right now. How does the board feel about that? Make a motion to appoint, or,
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
No. Ralph and Cheryl,
Sure.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
I abstain.
Okay, you got it. Appoint village attorney, J&G Law. Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to keep J&G Lawyers.
Second.
Okay. Do I need to name you, John? Do I need you, do I need to name you John Capella? John Capella. Thank you. You got it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstaining?
I abstain.
Okay.
I also abstain.
Okay, very good. Appointment of village engineer, Lincoln Tully. I did speak with John Queenan the other day. He was to send me a letter. I haven't seen it, but I've been getting a lot of emails, so it could be in there somewhere. So,
I have a question about that. So as I was looking, I don't see anywhere where it gives the trustees the power to do that. I thought that was under the manager.
to do what? This is a board of trustees here.
Yeah,
That's all of our appointments.
okay. I thought that was under the manager. That's under the trustees?
This is the manager here.
No, I know that, but when I was
Oh.
looking in the paper, when I was looking through things, researching some of it, I didn't see where it was for the trustees.
Yeah, it's for us.
Okay.
Could I have
Yes.
clarification with that, with John? I mean, is it the,
The village board actually officially appoints the clerk, the treasurer, and the village manager. The other ones are appointments of the village manager that are approved by the,
Oh, okay. Well, then we can hold all of those over. That's
So,
fine with me. We can hold all of those over until we get
all
the,
holdovers.
okay, thank you.
that's
Thank you.
fine, thank you. Well, then that should be changed by appointments of the Board of Trustees then, so that should still be under the manager then, yes?
What's that?
That should still say under manager then. Why is it under, why does it say Board of Trustees?
Oh, I don't know why.
Who wrote it?
Okay. All right. So we will hold all of those over. And I was recommended they should hold over because if you don't appoint someone or have someone, that may be not good for the village, so. So designated of Board of Trustees, the paper, so that all of that will just hold over then? Because that should be,
Yeah, I don't, that's not the business of the board. You have the same ones, I would hold it over.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm saying, you can hold it over, but I know the appointments of members. I don't know if the village manager or the board of trustees can designate the official newspaper. Or if it,
Okay, so we'll hold over the whole thing. Does everyone make a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to hold over.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, so, to our meeting. Minutes.
Wait,
and you could set the time, dates, and location of your meetings.
Oh, sorry, let's do that. Village of Walden Board of Trustees, resolution setting the date, times, and locations of meetings of the Board of Trustees for 2026 to 2027. Whereas the New York State Open Meetings Law, Section 104, Public Officers Law requires the public notice of time, place, meetings scheduled at least 1 week prior to, therefore shall be the media and shall be conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations at least 72 hours before such a meeting. The Village Board Trustees, Village of Walden desires at this time to set the dates and locations of the annual organizational meeting from 2026 to 2027 official year. Therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Walden, that meeting of the Board of Trustees shall be held in the following dates at 6:30 in the municipal building located at 1 Municipal Square. Y'all read through those. I went through them all. You have a question on
I do
them?
have a question. March 16, 2027.
Could be
Now,
election day.
it could be
I'm not
election
sure.
day. So
There's
I
a-
know there was an issue this year to where you held a meeting on March 17th, which should not have been held. It was not in the reorg minutes. It was actually supposed to be scheduled for the 24th, so I believe that was probably an illegal meeting. So if you plan on having elections on the 16th, you might want to change that now, so there's not an issue again next year.
Agreed.
I have it written too, so if you want to make a motion to change the election date to the next week, that's up to you. You can.
I make a motion to change that to the following Tuesday, so there's not a conflict with the elections.
What's the date?
On here, it says March 16th, which should be elections, so the following Tuesday. Usually it's the first and the fourth Tuesday of March.
The election, the way they do the election, it's, sorry.
In March? That's, in March?
The first and third.
Yeah, it should be the second.
In March, the third Tuesday, is that not elections?
It
It
is.
is.
Okay, so
the
usually in
third
March,
Tuesday
isn't
of
it the
March.
first and the fourth
Yes.
Tuesday?
March 23rd would be the
Okay,
date.
so yes, like I said, I make a motion to change that to the fourth Tuesday.
I second.
Any more well, let me get the date. Hang on a second.
March 23rd.
23rd. So before that goes to any paper that needs to be changed, Katie, anyone make a motion?
Made a motion.
Well, let's finish,
Made
let's
it,
go through the whole thing, and then we'll make a motion at the end. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Walden at that date, time, location, in the reorganization meeting of the officials shall be held on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 at 6:30 in Municipal Hall, so we did that. Further be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Walden does hereby direct the village clerk, deputy clerk,
So that needs to be changed to 6:30 from 6 o'clock? That's in here?
yes, please,
Okay.
deputy clerk to provide copy of this resolution to the publisher of the official newspapers of the Village of Walden and to conspicuously post a copy of the resolution on the bulletin boards located outside the village offices on the third floor of the municipal building within 48 hours of the adoption of the resolution. Motion to adopt by and second by, the vote was, well, we're gonna say, make a motion.
Make a motion to accept with the changes that we discussed, changing the March 16, 2027 date to March 23rd, 2027, and changing the time of the reorganization meeting on April 7th of 2027, is I believe what that should say? Or April 6th of 2027 to 6:30 in the municipal building instead of 6 o'clock.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
No.
No?
Okay, so that's not today's date? That's supposed to be next year, April 7th? Isn't that today's, wasn't that for today? Or do you want that for next year?
I can't hear you, what?
Yeah, what?
The April 7th that's on here, that was supposed to be at 6 o'clock, isn't that right now you're talking about for this meeting? Or is this next year's meeting that we're changing the date to 27?
Next year.
It should be
Next
next year.
Next.
That's next year, so that should be
Correct.
next year's date.
Correct.
So let's leave it at 6.
Okay.
Yes.
6 p.m.
Okay. Well, let's see if Tuesday is in April 7th. Let's make sure. Next year. 27.
What are you checking?
I'm checking to see
Next year's
April.
date?
To do what?
It's April 6th. Of
Next
2027.
April of 2027.
Yeah,
Not
it's
too
the
far.
6th.
Is it the 6th?
The 6th.
6th.
Okay, then I second.
Okay. Any other discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Payment, minutes. We have minutes from 3/3/2026. Anyone make a motion for those?
I'd like to make a correction.
Mm-hmm.
Near the end of the minutes, it talks about forming a committee to work on policy for time and attendance for the third floor office. It needs to say that the committee is Ralph Garrison and Lynn Thompson.
Does it make a difference that it says special meeting at the top and not board meeting, regular meeting? Does that matter
For which one?
on March 3rd?
No.
Okay.
Mine doesn't say
Yours doesn't say that?
that.
Oh, isn't that silly?
So, right. Any discussion? We're
Can't
all-
find it.
For the minutes?
Yeah, what kind?
It was just making motion for well, you guys wouldn't be here anyway, so you're, you're not. So,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for March 3rd.
Is there a
with the
second?
With the correction.
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Abstain.
I abstain.
Minutes for the March 17th meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for March 17th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Is there an issue that this meeting was not posted? It was not in the reorg? It was not broadcasted? It was not, nobody knew about it besides the board? I mean, to me, there's things that were done in here that maybe public or people might have wanted to come up and talk about, and nobody had the option to do it.
The meeting was posted on the website as the 17th, it was posted on the calendar as the 17th.
Wasn't in the reorg meeting. It wasn't, I don't recall seeing it on,
Yeah, it was on the
the
calendar.
agenda was there, yes, but I don't recall seeing it anywhere else.
I believe it was on the website under the dates, no?
I don't believe it was.
But the agenda was on there, though.
The agenda was on there, but the agenda was on there.
The meeting wasn't posted.
It wasn't posted anywhere, and it wasn't broadcasted. Nobody had the option to come here and talk because nobody knew. It wasn't dated in the reorg meeting. It was not supposed to happen. Your
Was
meeting
it?
was supposed to be March 24th.
Was that in the resolution from the year before? That it would be March 24th?
In the reorg meeting, it was March 24th, yes.
In the reorg meeting the year before? it was
Yes, it was March 24th, because election was supposed to happen on March 17th. You can't have an election on St. Patrick's Day, which, I mean, I can understand that. But the meeting should not happen. So there's a couple things that did happen in the meeting that I'd kind of like to talk about.
We're looking at the attorney.
We'll have to look into it and see.
Okay,
what
so
the-
we'll
what the
just-
notice. The meeting was
Okay.
held, it was open to the public, whether it was properly noticed, nobody, someone will have to make a complaint, and it, you know, I don't know where it was noticed, how it was noticed on the.
I didn't
from
see it
the board,
anywhere, and I
whether
did
the
look.
public- I understand your position, but I haven't looked into it, and this is the first I've heard of it.
All right, so we'll just table for the next meeting? So we have an answer,
Yep.
maybe? Okay, table. All right, so moving on, payment of audited bills. Oh, do I need a motion to table? No, just tabling till the next meeting. We're good.
So the issues that were,
We're
The
gonna
minutes
table,
weren't- The minutes weren't approved, but the
Right.
minutes are the minutes of the meeting, whether the meeting was illegal or not.
Right.
Not illegal, was not properly noticed. It was an illegal
so you'll
meeting. It was-
get us information on that?
it was co-
Okay, thank you. Moving on to payment of audited bills. Anyone make a motion to pay the bills? I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All the bills are in the boxes to look at and sign. You get them on your emails as well. That doesn't give the detail of what you're looking at, so you really should try to get inside and see them, because there's things on there
well, I
that-
don't have a key, and I don't have a village email, so I have not looked at anything, so I'll abstain. And
Are we in discussion, or are you looking for a
Yeah,
vote?
go ahead, John.
Okay, I signed them because I was in there today. I got my key today, and I got my paperwork, but the bills were prior to, obviously, signing the oath, so at this point in time, I'll abstain
Okay.
from that. But I
Okay.
signed them all for
Okay, thank you.
clerical purposes.
Perfect. Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. You're abstaining.
I'm abstaining.
And
I
John's
abstain,
abstaining.
yep.
John and Chris, you're abstaining. Okay. Moving on to public comment of the business of the board. Anyone from the business of the board? Comments?
Okay.
Mary Ellen, why don't you read it to me, please? Thanks. Thank you. should have brought me the other one too. Thanks, appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I do, I think.
Okay. Lainey Jenkins, please come up. Oh. Oh, this, well, you're probably for the second comment, the end, not for the business of the board. So this is for the business of the board. So the business we have on our agenda, park use, garbage discussion, budget, tax cap, Memorial Day, and stop DWI. We'll put you on. Okay, we'll put you, okay. Mary Ellen?
Garbage bid discussion. So after a week or two, last meeting before, Marissa came, right? Oh, everything's gonna get straightened out. And today the garbage cans are all over the street again. I'm tired of taking pictures. I'm tired of calling Village Hall.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to believe me.
But it was windy.
No,
They
no,
blow- they
they
blow
weren't,
around.
they didn't walk themselves back off the curb. They were on the, my neighbor's cans are always on the curb.
Okay.
They do not put them in the street. When the garbage company leaves, they're in the street. And today they were in the street again. And also, another point of housekeeping, the street sweeper came by before the garbage company, and it should be the other way around.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. John Joseph, is he still here? He left, okay. Michael McNamee, for business of the board?
I'm reserved for the second comment.
Perfect, very good. Eric Metzger.
Same thing, you told me it was number 9.
Second, the next one? Okay, very good. Okay. All right, anybody else from the public about business of the board? No? Very good, thank you. Moving on to park use request. Got to read all of that. Anyone make a motion to
I make a motion
approve?
that we approve that request.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Garbage bid discussion. I know you just got your garbage bid today, and it's been back and forth with me and the attorney, so we're back. I have it. I read it today. It looks good. I just didn't know. We have to set a public hearing soon. We have to have this by June 1st. So with this bid package, in here it talks about May.
Yeah, I don't know if you need a public hearing
No.
on it. You just need to authorize it to go out to bid and then publish it and post it, so you can obtain the bids. So, I don't know if you need to review it, but there is a publication time that you need in there if you want service to.
So next meeting would be sufficient?
I think so. I think the timing was May.
May
We have
1st.
to publish it. You want to make sure.
But you have to get the bid out and back by May
Yes,
1st.
yeah.
That would be enough time.
I don't know, I don't know from the garbage companies how long
Okay.
they need. We could extend the time. You just want seamless service. I think the contract runs out June 1st.
Right.
John.
It runs out June 1st, correct.
Could we put it to bid now, like this week? And this way they have enough time before May 1st?
If you want to approve the bid, authorize the bid to go.
I thought, are we approving the bid or are we putting? are
You
we
have to
going
approve to put the
request?
bid, this package out to be bid on. So
Right.
if you like everything that's in this package, then I know,
I don't think we have enough time to dwell on too much of it.
I
right?
really-
We're already,
I looked it over, I mean, I looked it over 10
How
times
do you-
because
how
it
do
was
you feel
changed a
about
little
it?
bit.
It's the
First at a
same,
time.
the package is right, the meat we took from your last one, so the services you want are unless you wanted to change it and say we want to change the dates or change the toters or change some aspects of it.
It's basically the same.
similar to the
Sidearm, the whole thing about
Right.
yeah, it's pretty much all the same. And the dates are, they didn't give us the days of the week yet. I think we picked that after the bid is awarded. I don't know, there's no dates in our last contract either, so I don't know where those dates come in because I'm not privy to that, wasn't privy to that, so. The dates, like you garbage picked up on Tuesday
yeah.
or Wednesday, so.
I mean, it
We
has to
did,
go
we
out.
did,
Yeah.
we did, like, the last one, we did it in 3-year increments, so, like, do you still want to do that
Of course.
for 3 years? Okay.
Yeah.
3-year
I mean,
bids,
it has to go out. We need it back by May 1st. If we do next meeting, it's April 21st.
Correct.
It doesn't really give us a lot of time,
Right.
so.
okay. All right. Anyone might make a motion to,
I got another question.
yes, John?
Shouldn't we at least put a date on the 2 bulk pickups during the year? Or
That's right, I
do
did-
we do it?
There were no dates in the original contract that I had, there were no dates in there until I believe when the bid package comes in, then the dates get in there. I think John, the
Yeah, it
manager,
just
used
says it's twice a year.
twice a year, yeah, it was, and then there's bulk pickup, leaf pickup from March to December, I think it was, something like that, so, yeah, in that range, so,
If you want to go to 16, it doesn't say 2 times a year.
go to page 16.
Item number 16,
Oh,
says collection
16.
of bulk refuse. Unless I'm blind.
Yeah, but there's another spot where it talks about how many times in the beginning.
It does, it talks about twice a year.
We look at 2.
No, but we wanted more
see.
times a year for it to be collected up, like every quarter.
I'm sure they would just charge you more.
Yeah, there's,
Because I know a lot of residents had asked, at least me, for that.
in number 2A, the garbage, rubbish, and other household refuse shall be collected from all residences, maybe made once a week, Monday through Friday. Yard waste collection shall be made once a week, Monday through Friday, March to December, weather permitting, and all material collected shall be otherwise indicated, placed in suitable plastic containers.
I got it, 2C incorporates everything.
Yep, 2C, I knew I saw it somewhere.
All right, thank you.
Does it say 2 times there, John?
It does. It says
Okay.
April
Yeah.
and October. I
Okay,
believe.
there you
It
go.
says.
So, I did
Thank you,
read it.
John.
It was 10 times. All right, so make a motion
Yeah, I'll make a motion to put it out to bid.
put out the bid.
Second?
Any other discussion? John, anything else down there? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Budget, set public hearing for the budget. We have budget sessions tomorrow and Thursday, next week, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No,
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah, Wednesday,
Mhm.
Thursday, next
Tuesday,
week,
Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
So we just have to pick a date for the budget.
I thought we talked about the 21st for the public hearing.
21st is the public hearing.
Right.
Comfortable with that, getting that done and settled? Okay. So it has to be posted, it has to be noticed, it has to be all that, so you got it. Public hearing noticed so we make a motion to set the public hearing for the April 21st.
I'll make a motion,
Was there a second?
Second.
6 PM?
Take it to 6:30 at
Six.
the regular meeting? Isn't that the regular meeting? Just do it at
Okay.
the
Do
regular
it
meeting.
at the regular meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
6:30?
Well, no, at the beginning, well, public hearing's gonna be at the beginning of the meeting, so 6:30, but at the top of the list, public hearing at the top. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Tax cap, we need to set, I don't remember setting a public hearing last time, but I did know we said we needed to do something like that in case we go over.
We did do a public hearing on the tax cap
We did.
last time.
We need to do it again.
We
There
did
should
it
be
the
a
same
local
night or
law
no?
package
I'm
somewhere.
sorry.
There should be a local law package in here, or was sent, maybe it was sent today, but
For,
for the tax
Tax
cap
cap.
override, it's a look.
I didn't
see it.
I didn't see one, no. It's not the end of the packet.
do you have it with you, John? I can read it.
I don't have it physically, I have it on my phone. It's, I'll read it real quick if you want. Tax levy limit override 2026-27 fiscal year being enacted by the Board of Trustees, the Village of Walden, is an intent to adopt the budget for the fiscal year commencing June 1st, 2026. Requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined in State General Municipal Law 3C. This local law is adopted pursuant to Subdivision 5 of General Municipal Law 3C, which expressly authorizes the local government's governing body to override the property tax cap for the fiscal year by adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the governing board. The Village Board of Trustees is hereby authorized to adopt a budget that requires a property tax levy in excess of the amount otherwise prescribed, has a severability clause and an effective date, and there's a resolution introducing it, that the law is hereby introduced by the board member's name, that copies are to be on the desk, and that a public hearing will be held on the proposed said law at 6:30 p.m. and you just need to fill in the date. So if you want to do it April 21st or
Yes, please.
and then it needs to be published in the paper 5 days prior to.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Anyone make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, John, for reading that. Didn't get it. Up to Memorial Day Parade. We did get a nice letter from Bill Kiernan in the back. Do you want to come up and talk about it, or are you okay? Okay.
Everybody got a copy of the letter, I think it was sent and distributed.
Yes, sir. We were American Legion with conjunction with the VFW again asking to have the parade again this year, the same as it's been for the last 10 years or whatever. It would be on Memorial Day itself, line up at 9:30 a.m. on the far side of Memorial Bridge, 10 o'clock step off, proceed up West Main, come into the square. We would have the ceremony in the square approximately 10:20, 10:30. We are asking again for the use of the village's platform, the stage, stairs, and sound equipment. And in case of inclement weather, the permission to use this third floor meeting room also, in case of inclement weather. So there's no difference than the previous years. We've always coordinated with the police department, which I'm sure we'll do again, and hopefully go off without a hitch, and the weather will be good.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, one other thing while I'm up here, also at the bottom of that letter, a young man, Logan Hickey, here in the village, did a dedicated project up at Bradley Square, or Bradley Field about a year ago, dedicated to Vietnam veterans. And it would be proper, I think, for the village to have a dedication ceremony. Yep. And we were proposing that maybe we do it on Memorial Day, immediately following the ceremony here, that we would proceed up to Bradley Park, Bradley Field, and American Legion would be glad to put a short program together. And any of the members that would like to say a few words or whatever, would be glad to include that in the program so we can coordinate that as we get closer. So if you approve both of those, it'd be much appreciated.
Do you want the village to, you're going to do most of the work for the Logan piece, or you just need for the Logan statute, the memorial?
Yeah, we can put a short program
Okay.
together.
Yep.
And as I said, we'll be glad to invite any of you that would like to say a few words.
Okay.
Mayor on down would be most appropriate.
Thank you.
We'd be glad to include you, okay?
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Make a motion to approve.
I motion for both.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. We do have one added one, which is Stop DWI, which I got this morning. The Police Department. And this is resolution approving the Stop DWI program service agreement with the County of Orange for the performance of overtime police road patrols to detect and deter impaired or intoxicated drivers for the period of March 11th, 2026 to January 1, 2027, authorizing the village manager or whoever to execute said agreement. Whereas the County of Orange has appropriated monies for the implementation or Stop DWI program to be made available to cities, towns, villages in Orange County to assist in the dictation and deterrence of impaired and intoxicated drivers throughout the county, and whereas the county has prepared an agreement covering the period between March 11th, 2026 to January 1, 2027, which providing municipalities based on the number of hours of additional road patrols each municipality dictates the program. And whereas the aforesaid period of further divided into 3 campaign periods determined by the county, whereas the funding proposed to be provided to the Village of Walden under the Stop DWI program agreement for reimbursement of eligible expenses for the first period of March 11, 2006 to January 1st, 2027. Whereas the village shall be notified in writing by the county as the amounts for those subsequent periods, whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Walden wishes to approve the Stop DWI program service agreement with the County of Orange to particularly reimburse the village for overtime police road patrols to detect and deter impaired and intoxicated drivers in the Village of Walden, and to authorize the village mayor to execute the same. Now therefore it is resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Walden hereby approves the Stop DWI program services agreement with the County of Orange for the partial reimbursement of the cost of performing overtime police roads. We did that already. That's it. So we have to make a motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
John, you had a question?
Yeah, I have a discussion. Just for the record, you mentioned March 11, 2006?
2026.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
said 6, so.
26, sorry.
Okay. And then you mentioned January 1, 2027.
27.
So for the record, it's June 1, 2027, just so that we have it
Where are you saying?
chronologized.
Where's June?
Oh, down the next one down here is June.
You-
Oh,
You're saying
sorry.
up
You
here,
read
you're
it to
saying
Sorry, it
January.
was
That's all right.
in my head for the last one. Thank you.
I'm getting old
Right.
too. Just for the record.
Who made a motion?
I made a motion,
Yep.
Cheryl second.
Cheryl, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. So we are up to public comment. Is there another paper over there, Mary Ellen? Please, thank you. I'm sorry? I'll start with this one. Sounds good. Lainey, did you want to say anything? Okay, come on up. Name and address, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, people. helping me.
Laney Janetti Reynolds, 51 Cape Run Street, Walden. I'm sure everybody's aware who I am and who there's issues around neighbors with myself. I would like to know why, if there's village codes, they are not enforced. Why some people have special privilege not to have to go along with those codes.
We really can't answer that, but we'll look into it for
Well,
you.
It's very simple, as simple as the code of not putting garbage cans out at a certain time. And he has the audacity to do it at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's been complained about, nothing gets done. I went down to see the new building inspector today. Nothing can be done because of the previous building inspector. What's the sense of coming here? What's the sense of paying taxes if we don't have support from the people we come to and need help from? That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Michael McNamee.
Mike McNamee, 86 Ulster Avenue. So before I read this letter, 2 quick things. I'd like to congratulate Christy, John, Jerry on a very clean, well-earned election. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Next is a question. Will there be a new date for the local law 3 public hearing that was adjourned to this evening because it wasn't on the agenda? And
I'm sorry, say that again.
The local law 3 public hearing that was adjourned on March 3rd was supposed to be today. It wasn't on the agenda. I just want to make sure I don't miss
Was it on Night Sky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the board should, thank you for reminding of the board.
I just have comments. I want to make sure getting there.
Should take an action if you don't want to renotice it. to set a hearing to the certain date. So if you want to adjourn the hearing until May, you know, to get comments, because it does need to get, did not
From the
get
county.
referred to the county, so 30 days have to pass to allow county comments, so the board could either take an action to now to adjourn it to the second May meeting, or you could just renotice it and hold a hearing when you're ready.
We can't continue it.
The hearing was continued.
Right.
Mike is
Right.
correct. The hearing
Right.
was continued to this day. So anyone who was here at that meeting that had noticed that it was continued to March 3rd, April
April.
7th, we would adjourn it now until the second May meeting, so that would be sufficient.
Oh, so you don't have to
notice.
renotice it, it just
Yeah,
is
so you wouldn't
adjourned.
have to publish it in the paper again. Or you could decide, let's get the county comments, let's make the changes, and let's just renotice it when you're ready.
Okay,
It's
so
up
just
to you.
either we're just gonna cancel it out and not do it, or renotice for later, is what you're
You
telling us.
could, no, you could either say, we're adjourning the hearing today
Yes.
till May, and
Right.
then that's the notice to anyone who was here.
Right.
Or you can just say, we're going to reconvene the public hearing when we're ready by publishing a new notice in the paper and,
Okay.
you know, publishing it on.
Board, your pleasure.
Might as well just renotice it at this point. We have to wait 30 days
The county anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you're probably right.
Renotice for a date.
Let's get it to the county. We've already had some comments. Then you could revise it, reintroduce it, and hold a hearing on the revised law when.
We just pick a date
You're
then.
ready.
We'll put on the agenda and pick a date then, is what
Yes.
you're saying, okay. Okay. Okay, thanks, Guy. Thank you, Mike.
Okay. So anyway, so just I wanted to generically address the board. Good evening, I'm here today, not to bash the board for the decision in last week's hastily called meeting, but to question the anti-transparency of this
Excuse
board.
me, could I just ask you to speak a little slower?
Sure.
I truly can't hear you when you get going.
Not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I'm here today not to bash this board for their decisions in last week's hastily called board meeting, but to question the anti-transparency of this board. As my wife regularly tells me, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. And that is how I feel about how you did it. Last March, I cast my ballot for some of you based on your stated desire to increase transparency, dot the I's and cross the T's. Unfortunately, what I have mostly seen over the last few months has been T's dotted, I's crossed, and blank stares. As I've previously commented to this board, the Comprehensive Plan Board has not published a single public meeting notice or any minutes. Even when properly foiled, these items are unavailable. Open Meetings Law Section 102.1 and published opinions from the New York State Committee on Open Government identified that this board is a public body, making these omissions violations of Open Meetings Laws Sections 103A, 104.1, 104.2, and 106.2. Further, the actions tonight by calling for a quorum and making motions further codifies that as a public body based on those statutes. Additionally, over the last 3 months, this board has stopped publishing minutes to its website, with the first missing meeting beginning January the 20th. Those minutes are required by law to be published regardless of draft or accepted status within 14 days. And where a website and a high-speed internet connection exists, they must be posted to your website. The failure to publish minutes from January 20th, February 3rd, February 17th, March 3rd, and March 17th is a violation of Open Meetings Law Section 106C. Minutes from the 3/31 special meeting where an executive session was held and actions were taken are due after 7 days, which is today, as required by Open Meetings Law Section 106B and 106C. Lastly, although not a violation of open meetings laws, members of this board regularly direct residents' questions, concerns, and problems directly to the manager. With his placement on administrative leave and no deputy manager to automatically assume those duties, the public has no direction. Please provide us with direction of who we should be contacting should any issues arise on the day-to-day. I bring these concerns to you not as an expert, as Ms. Thompson has graciously identified me on social media, but as a concerned citizen who voted for transparency and prides himself on being well-researched before I speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Metzger?
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Eric Metzger. I retired here as a sergeant, well, actually as a patrolman, but we'll circle back to that. So going back to 2010, and I'm not going to go year by year here, so it's not going to take that long. Going back to 2010, I met with the village board along with 2 other ranking members of the police department, and we expressed to the board at that time why they should not hire John Ravella as village manager. And the reason was there was a very personal connection with an officer we had at the time who had some troubles. And given that personal connection, we were afraid of what it was going to turn into. So the board picked up the carpet, swept it under it, and they moved on, they hired him. Fast forward to 2020. I was an instructor in Narcan. For those of you who don't know what Narcan is, it's a life-saving dose that you give to people that have done heroin and other opiates. I trained a citizen how to use it to potentially save a life. Didn't think I did anything wrong, but all of a sudden, the village launches a special investigation into me. Okay? Now, that was at the hands of John Ravella, John Ramos, and Sue Rumbold Taylor, as she's known now. So I go in, I tell them the open, honest truth about what happened. I had nothing to hide, no big deal. Nobody in this county or any surrounding county, law enforcement-wise, thinks I did anything wrong. But I was willing to accept any menial discipline they might ask me for just to satisfy. Wasn't a problem. About a month goes by, I'm handed a letter by my then chief, and he has tears in his eyes. You know why he had tears in his eyes? Because he knew what was being done to me was wrong. I was given no other option but to take a demotion, or they were going to move to fire me if I fought it. I asked to speak to the board. John Ravella lied to the board and told them that I couldn't speak to them, that it was evidently some type of PBA issue, which was BS. So, after being a sergeant for 17 and a half years, a patrolman for 22 at that time, I believe it was, I said, you know what? I'm going to take that voluntary demotion and just move on. So I take the demotion. 2.5 years I worked as a patrolman here. Did my job day in, day out. I eventually left after those 2.5 years because at that point the department became decimated. People were leaving left and right. We were working 32 hours of overtime a week probably, each and every one of us. We were falling asleep. The place was just decimated. And I'm not going to blame it all on that, but then that was a great part of why a lot of people left here, was they saw what happened to me and they didn't know what was going to happen to them next. So fast forward to this March, and that's where I'm going to draw a direct line between what I said back in 2010 and to these 3 things that came out in the papers. Okay? One of those articles is an investigation into the police department. No names will be mentioned. The person referenced in that article was that direct connection to John Ravella. That person, that officer, could have been a great officer had he been kept grounded, but he wasn't. Time after time, things occurred and they were overlooked, they were covered up, they were protected. If the board would like to meet with me at some point to discuss that, to get details in private, because obviously that's not public information, I'd be more than willing to do that. I have since asked through a member of the board for some type of apology for what happened to me. In writing, It didn't have to be public, just something to clear my name for the egregious discipline that came upon me, but no one else faced. I worked my butt off for all those years and did the best thing for the police department and this village all those years. Why didn't I tell this story publicly sooner? Because there's great men and women that I worked with and are still here, and I didn't want to harm them. I hope that that officer that's in that article is able to move forward, and I hope that this department can rebuild. I don't know if they can, but I hope they can, because there's still good men and women that work here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
In a minute. Let me get through everybody. Mary Ellen.
I'm just going to change the tone for a minute. So I gave everybody a Mastodon button. I did do the talk at Washington's headquarters, which is great because it had a full room, and it brings a different audience to learn about the history of Walden and Montgomery. And really, I'm just going to ask everybody here to please come out and support the Historical Society this coming Sunday, April 12th. They really need as much help as they can get. They're maintaining 2 buildings. They are a repository for the historical past of this village. They do have a lot of documents. I'm working with them to try to beef up what their holdings also. And I'm just going to ask you to come out and please support them. It's going to be at the community center at Ollie Park, I think 12 or 1. But it's on Facebook, so please come out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wendy? Wenda? I always say it wrong. I put a Y at the end of that and I shouldn't. Sorry.
Wanda Heaney, Walden. Okay, this is, again, nothing about any of this. This is just that Barry's Grove and the Walden Elementary School will again be doing the trout release tomorrow over at Wooster's, and we go to various sections of the Timbrook, which is one of the reasons we were all here to see how the Timbrook was doing, because those little fish we put in want to be able to live and swim and enjoy their lives. So anyway, just if anybody's available, it's tomorrow morning. It's down at Wooster's. I believe the school is going to get there at 10. They bring the little fish that they raised, and each student gets a cup and gets to put one in, which we always, no, I won't say it right now. But anyway, and then we have the buckets and we release the grown fish. So on that note, I hope I see some of you.
It was a great event last year.
Thank you.
Michael, you went, Eric went. Lainey, you wanted to say something again?
I am so sure I'm not going to be liked after I have this comment to say. But I am pretty disappointed, and I am very sad to say that I actually feel sad that I'm standing here and watching people allow an ex-employee or whoever it may be to bash one particular person who is not here to defend himself. I think it's very unprofessional. I think it's very wrong, and I think it's very morally wrong. And I think that's what's really happening in this village.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public have anything to say? Be careful.
Am I allowed to follow back up?
Be careful, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to follow back up with that, I know his family's here. I'm sorry for them that they have to hear all this, but unfortunately it is true. And if he was sitting here, which I actually expect him to be, I would say it, just like I mentioned John's name. He's right here. I would have mentioned it if he was sitting here. So it's not for the fact of trying to hide anything or anything like that. It's just, it's about time.
For the record, I'm not failing.
I know.
Can I speak?
Oof.
Sure.
So just to be all clear.
Name and
everyone-
address, please.
I don't have to give it because it's a public meeting, thank you. But I will say my name is Francesca. For those who know me, know that I'm a hard worker. John Ravella is not here to defend his name. Anybody can make stories about anybody. Anybody can make stories about you. Anybody can make stories about you. Doesn't make it true. We don't know the actual facts. We don't know what's actually true. So to keep lying on his name and keep spreading stories about stuff we don't know about, and for him to not even be here because for whatever matter that is that we don't know, we can't talk about that. We can't keep bringing up his name who can't defend himself, who can't be here tonight. So for a person to just keep up here and to keep bashing for something that happened, I'm sorry for whatever happened in 2010. We are in 16 years later. I'm so sorry for whatever that happened that you had to go through. I am so sorry for that. Whatever it is, does not matter. It's still 6 years. It's done. It's over with. So to keep bringing up his name and bringing up his name with all this stuff that is going on, nobody knows the truth. Do you know what's going on? Do you know what's going on? No one does. So feeding wrong information to just keep his name in the public is the wrong thing to do. And those sitting on the board knows exactly who I'm talking about, who keeps feeding information on stuff that they don't know about. So we need to stop and just let everybody handle their part. You play your part as the mayor, you play your part as a trustee, you play your part as an attorney, and then from there we can move on. But to keep bringing this up, it's getting old.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good evening, board members, public. My name is Christine. I am a village resident. There's one thing I'd like everybody to keep in mind. In the law, you are innocent until proven guilty. No matter what the past has brought you, and no matter what the future may bring you, you are innocent until proven guilty. With that being said, there is definitely something broken in the village, okay? I don't know who's being protected from what, from their actions, from meetings not being published so that the public can hear them, to anything else that's going on, to subpoenas that are being served. The DA just doesn't pull that out of their ass. I'm sorry to say that. But again, just remind everybody that everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else? Nobody? All right. Thank you. So we're going to go into executive session.
Don't we want to?
Oh, sorry, where am I at? Oh, geez. Whew. Well, I got all crazy. Correspondence, anyone have correspondence? No. No? Okay, I don't either. Miscellaneous comments from the Board of Trustees. Let's start with John at the end.
Awesome. Francesca, thank you. Christine, thank you. You know, I'd like your comments there, Eric, but there's totally not any useful basis here. You're right. You're innocent until proven guilty. And everything's that been said on Facebook or social media, I try to avoid that because I've been in situations where, you know, you are innocent until proven guilty, and you're proven guilty by jury, and this has not happened. Everybody wants to keep pointing fingers, but this is not the place to do it. This is a village of Walden. We're here to govern the village. When Christy and I got on the board, and Mr. McNamee, you did a fantastic job, but this is our job, and we are going to manage this village the best we can with our heart, with our mind, and use logic. And again, Eric, I'm going to keep pointing at you, but you keep doing this. And if you want to keep going, by all means, you know, I wanted you fired. I wanted you fired. You should have never done what you did. John was holding out for you, and he protected you. So going on.
From the board, we
Yeah.
should know.
Back and forth.
I agree.
Yeah, stop.
My apologies, but
Yes.
I'm here to say that you're innocent until proven guilty. And that's all I have.
Okay, Ralph.
Okay, well, there's a few things I want to discuss. One, the timing and the way that the emergency meeting was handled was inappropriate. I don't know if we have, as a board, should have done something better, but I feel like a 3-hour window to be at an emergency meeting on a random day, that's in my opinion unacceptable. We all have lives, we all have other things to do. I personally couldn't be at that meeting. I had my daughter that night. It was already planned for weeks. To get a phone call at 3 o'clock, hey, we have an emergency meeting at 6:30 and it has to be today and it can't be changed and that's just the way it needs to be, completely unacceptable. And then when I tell the reason why I couldn't be at that meeting, well, can't you change it? Can't you just come to the meeting and be with your daughter after? No, I could not. So I did not attend that meeting, just for the record, for the whole public to know, because one, I couldn't make it. Two, inexcusable the amount of time that was given to be there. The other thing that I will bring up is the whole handling of the situation needs to be carefully considered going forward, because we do have a due process in the United States of America, and we all need to follow that. True. Innocent until proven guilty is real. I don't want to keep harping on it, but it's real. It needs to happen. And to drag somebody's name on something that shouldn't even have been released to the press the way that it was, and something that was supposed to be handled or should have been handled differently, is inexcusable for anybody to do. I don't say that as a friend to John Ravella. I don't say that as somebody that has known him. I say that as a board member sitting here, and that being the village manager. I wouldn't care who was sitting in that position. The way that things have been handled recently, I think are unacceptable to anybody that would be in that position. That is my stance on it. I won't say anything else about it, but that's where I stand.
Lynn?
I have nothing.
Okay, Jerry?
Nothing.
Cheryl? No comment. Christie?
I have a paper, so sorry. First, I want to thank the residents for electing me as a trustee. I'm truly grateful for your support and the trust that you have placed in me. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my disappointment with how the election process began. A mistake by the village negatively impacted 3 candidates and their fair opportunity to run. That should not have happened, and while we can't change it now, we can definitely and should do better moving forward. And I sincerely hope those 3 decide to run next year. I come to this board with an open mind and a strong work ethic. My opinions are my own, and I understand there's a great deal for me to learn and accomplish over the next 2 years. I am committed to doing the job the best of my ability with the resources I have and with the team that I have with me. When I was previously elected, I was welcomed with support and guidance. This time has been noticeably different. I recognize that we all have different perspectives, but professionalism and respect should not be optional. I expect that we can work together in ways that prioritize the best interests of Walden over personal differences. Let me be clear about who I am and how I operate. I take pride in my work. If I do not know something, I will ask questions and I will find the answers. If I believe something is wrong, I will say so, and I will expect the same in return, directly and respectfully. What I will not engage in is unnecessary drama, indirect communication, or personal attacks. Which brings me to what occurred last night. Well, the post last night that was made on Walden Forward Facebook page. And rather than addressing concerns directly, a member of this board chose to respond publicly and later deleted it. So I asked Trustee Thompson, are there concerns about something being inaccurate? I expect those concerns to be brought directly to me. Public commentary and personal remarks are not productive, nor are they going to be appropriate. For the record, since you know exactly who wrote the post, she's showing her ignorance, me being she. I did not write that post. And if you asked me, I would have told you. I do not appreciate being called ignorant, nor do I appreciate the repeated making incorrect and unprofessional remarks about my running mate. To residents, if we're going to serve this community effectively, we need to commit to transparency, accountability, and respectful communication, both publicly and with one another. I am here to do the job as I was elected to do, and I intend to do it the best I can, and I will not tolerate the bullshit. I look forward to moving forward and ahead and focusing on what matters most, the residents of Walden. Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Apparently, Mr. Thompson doesn't think so.
Well, it's, everybody has what's
Opinions are like
everybody
assholes,
has
everybody
one.
has one.
So let me please address first, I have not spoken to the press at all. I'm just going to say that. So if people are thinking that's where it's coming from, it's not coming from me. So just so you know that. I have no skin in this game, but it's what it is. I have not spoken at all to the press. You can ask the press themselves. If I've deleted X's and they want to hear, I have said nothing. With the guidance of the attorneys, that special meeting was called not by me, but we had discussion and they felt that that's what should have happened. I can't help that people don't feel that should have happened, but that's what happened. The actions of this village, the actions the village is taking are to protect the residents and the citizens and to provide transparency and to ensure that the response to the investigators are not biased and beyond reproach. We are not doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. We didn't cause the situation. We were handed the situation and we need to deal with it. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Anyone else have anything from the board? Okay. Executive session. Make a motion to go in executive session for particular employees and attorney-client.
I make a motion.
All in favor? Oh, second?
I'll second.
Zero. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Will there be a vote? I was just gonna say that. I don't know if there'll be a vote taken, so you may want to stay. I don't know. I don't know where I don't know what the board's gonna decide, where it's gonna go. So yeah, thank you.
If you have to record.
No, I'm not paying for that, sorry. It's too expensive, thank you. If you want to stay, that's fine. I can't say what the board will do.